the VC Crypto Nation. This is the Academy. These are the training on the Academy. And what we're going to cover today is our basic first trade that you learn. It's the only trade that you need to learn in order to go through this process. And we reiterate all the basics here. So we're going to take a look at your favorite coin, which is Bitcoin, just to kind of give you an example of how things move, right? So the very first thing we want to do is we operate understanding that we trade on a 1 hour time frame as our main frame of understanding the movements, right? And we have what's called our trend, which we can see here. So now, very easily to understand, every time you look at a trade, remember, as we cover in anything, there's always an initial move and then a pullback, and then that move right there is where we buy. So this move at the bottom here is what we call the buy zone, right? So if we had a call out, anytime there's a move down to the downside, this is the buy area, right? We expect this to happen every single time on every coin, a move to the top, a pullback, and then the move that we want, right? Which would be this move here. Now this move here, we have some buy signals here and there, but if you catch this move at any point, this move is worth about 6%. So with leverage and everything, it's great. So this particular move is amplified and used on the 1 hour. It's the same thing that we look for all the way down to the lower time frame. So what we're going to do here is show you how do we get into this move early during this big wick, this area right here, and make sure that we can maximize our profits and get here. So theoretically, I'm going to take a box here, and this box is going to represent an area where we would want to see a pullback and then buy into this coin, right? Which would be somewhere in this section here. Okay, that's our buy zone, right? And for the 1 hours, I always make my boxes white, so that'll be right there. So now we're going to basically learn how to get into this trade here to maximize entry, right? How we do that is we start with our simplicity, which is what I call our order. Our order comes off of our 30-minute trade, right? What that means is when we get the go ahead on our 30-minute to confirm the trade is where we actually make the trade. Now, what we're looking for here on the 30-minute is what we call a 30-minute trend line, which you can see right here, the 30-minute turns green, right? And I'm going to mark this off here. This is where the 30-minute turned green. And this box here, I'm going to go ahead and make pink for you. And that's just letting you know that right here on this particular move, you can see that that trend line went green, which would have gave you an alert saying that this trade is active. And notice here, just like the 1 hour, there is a move when the trade activates, and I'm gonna make this one a little bit bigger and change this color to pink. There's a move, and then there's a second move back, which is the pull down, right? Which happens all the way here. And then there's a move up, right? Same thing. So there's always a move and a bound move. Now, this is the simplicity of a trigger to buy, is you need that 30-minute trend. That's when you buy. And that is put together with an earlier alert system, which is on the 15-minute. Okay. So what we actually do here is we set our alerts to the lower time frames to give us the opportunity of when this coin is actually being active. And as you can see here, we have a point where there was a 15-minute trend that said this was a long position. And then we had another 15-minute trend, which triggered here, which basically said there was another buyback at that point, right? Now notice when you got a 15-minute green trend, we had a nice push up, then there was a pullback, and then we went for the long hit. Now the beauty of this is that we use these smaller time frames so that we can get into the trade a lot faster, but more importantly, we can take advantage of the trade and make a couple different moves in there. Because what we want to do is we want to be in a trade that gives us X amount of profits, and a second trade on the same move that gives us the next profit. So for instance, what we're talking about, if you entered this trade properly, you'd be somewhere over here. You would have went for 2%, which with leverage that we use would have gave you 100% on this trade. And then this second trade, because it's building momentum, is more valuable, and that went for 6%. So you'd have made 300% on this trade. So the secret is learning how to get a piece of this smaller trade. Then when it pulls back, getting into the stronger movement, or what some people will call the second leg in trading, right? First leg, pull back, second leg. And by using the indicators, you are told when to buy. And once you hit profits, you automatically sell. It pulls back and then you buy again. And this trade was a double move for you, which you capitalized. So learning to take profits properly will allow you to make the money on the first trade and then be patient enough to set your alerts with our indicators to get a hold of the second trade. And this is the basis of learning how to take advantage, because once you have a two-leg move, then what happens to a coin is normally it starts to go the other way. It has to reset, find some support zones, and then once it finds support, it then goes on its move back up again. So this is what we're going to cover in here, is covering the basics of how to use the indicators. We're trading, this is a 1 hour trade, right? See the 1 hour move, the pullback, and the 1 hour big move. We use the 15-minute for a early warning signal. We use the 30-minute to get the confirmation of an early warning, and then we use our indicators to get that move. So we will be covering this inside this trade a little bit more on the next video, but this is just an understanding. What you need to do is take the basics and understand that every coin makes a move, has a pullback, and then has the big move. The second move has most of the momentum, and this is what you're going to learn inside the VC Trading Academy, is how to use the indicators to give you those moves. Now, double click on your trading view, and that'll show your other indicators. And in the next video, we're going to cover how this trade manifested by using the moons, but most importantly, how to use the volume to find out when it's the safest time to take this trade so that you're trading with the best. Notice over here, there's green moons and stuff, but there's no move. Here you have positive volume, you get a move, and then real positive volume, and you get the big move. So we're going to cover that in everything we do, guys. We just want to cover at the end here the simple basics of what we're talking about. And this is this. Every time you get into a trade, understand when you first start the system, you have to follow the guidelines. And the guidelines are this, right? Bullet points are, you're going to start with $10 in your account, and you're going to use the same leverage and stop loss every single time. 50% stop loss, 50% target. And when you learn that it's all about the percentages and not about money, right? We are going to remove your emotions, so that when you start trading, you learn that once you master making 50% on $10 every single time, well, then it can easily become $500, and your trade can go from making $5 to making $250. But if you don't master percentages, then you don't master how to trade. We have to remove emotions so that when you do make trades, you're not emotional and you don't make decisions based on emotions, and you're not having a roller coaster of a decision. And that will get you where you need to go, guys. Hope you liked the video. Part 2, we're going to cover the video more in depth on how it occurred. And so that will help you understand the trades one step at a time. Have a good day. As always, good luck.